Kefine or Kefine is a brand that I liked on first listen. The first IEM that I tried from them was the Clean. I gave it an almost a perfect score, and this time they have the Quatio. Qua, that means quack. Did you really believe that? Quad drivers, I guess. It's a 2DD, 2BA hybrid IEM. You've heard the hype. You've been seeing posts on Facebook and reviews. Do they really sound that good? Goody guys, it's Practiphile, and yes, we're going to take a look at the Kefine Quatio, not the quack, it's Quatio. I thought it was Quattro because qua is 4. Duh. But yeah, thank you so much, Kefine, for sending this in for review. The Kefine Quatio, I think it's priced around $129. And this features a 2DD and a 2BA hybrid IEM. This should be under my 121 to 250 price category, which is already full. Like, there's already 10 in my recommendations list in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Well, let's see if this one gets in my rec list. Let's start with the box is pretty, it's pretty much Kefine. It's a simple unboxing experience. The IEMs are sitting here, and then you get a standard case. The cable is pretty nice for the price, actually. It feels decent. It is interchangeable connectors, 3.5 and 4.4 balanced. I thought the shells are big. I mean, like, they look bulky, but they're actually comfortable to wear. No, I don't feel any sharp contours in there. It's a very comfortable IEM. Although they look bulky on the outside, but really comfortable. Build is also pretty nice. Like, you just know that these are built fine. Kefine. Yeah, I think that is it for the unboxing, and it does have nozzles, and I'm gonna talk about that in my sound impressions. So let's look at the graph first. Objectively, the Kefine Quatio graphs like this one over here. That is the silver one, and so you can see it's pretty much like V-shaped, kind of like U-shaped sound signature. Very contrasty. I wouldn't say they're balanced. They're just engaging. It is very musical, and well, if I overlay something in here, it actually follows the Harman 2019 gain. Not the bass, but the gain. Now, why is this important? A lot of people, including myself, have been kind of like, I just think that the bass is too less on the Harman 2019. So I think the Kefine, they're trying to compensate the gain with the amount of bass. And this is the result. It's very musical, very easy to listen to, very immersive also on the stage. The bass, you can choose from the 3 different filters in there. So let me just overlay the black one and the gold. So basically, the silver sits in the middle. The black one is a little bit bassier and fuller in the bass. And the gold filter is the one that is brighter. So there's probably 1 to 2 dB less in there. And then like the peaks are more pronounced on the gold filter. So I feel like the silver one sits in the right spot for me. I mean, 3 are actually enjoyable. It really depends on your preference. Like, it doesn't really change a lot. There are differences in there. But the changes also, you can EQ that as well. It's like 1 or 2 dB difference anyhow. Bass is nicely textured. The mids are natural sounding, organic sounding. I didn't feel that the vocals or female vocals are shouty. Treble is non-fatiguing. No unnatural peaks again there. And the overall soundstage, it's very immersive and deep. So those are my objective findings on the Kefine Quatio. Now, moving on to my subjective findings, where I score this one here. Check somewhere right here for the scoring if you want to know how I score sets. So yeah, let's start with the tonality. The tonality on this one here, again, it's closely following actually the Harman gain, Harman 2019. And if I overlay my target, let's say the balanced one, yeah, you see there that there's a little bit of elevation there in the upper mids. It's not really that apparent because of the amount of bass that it has, so it kind of like compensates for that treble energy in there. I would have wished that it's a little bit tamer in there, and the bass is also maybe 1 or 2 less in the sub bass. But hey, like, I like the overall tonality. It's not something that I love, but it's really something that I enjoy. So for the tonality on this one here, I'll give it 2.5. And you also can choose actually between the gold. I mean, I can choose from the gold or the black, but it's just that the black was too bassy for me, and the gold was a little bit too not really shouty, but like unrefined intro treble, if you know, if that makes sense. So tonality is 2.5. Moving on to the bass. Now for the bass, again, as I've mentioned, the bass could have been like, if I overlay my target on there again, it's a little bit too much. I do like the sub bass. I mean, there's that ramble in there. There's good impact. It's not really bleeding into the mids. There's nice texture going on in there. Just a little bit really too much for my preference. So you may like it if you're a bass head. This can probably pass as a bass head set, because even if there's a lot, it's actually well controlled. For the bass, I thought I'm gonna give it a 3, but just give it 2.5. I like it. I like it. It's just a little bit too much, but you may actually like it. For the mids, again, vocals sound really natural and organic. Instruments sound good. Guitars, they're not so over aggressive. The drums are just, you know, the snares, the toms, they sound okay. Female vocals, though, there's a little bit of energy in there, but again, you don't really hear this energy here in like the upper mids because of that bass in there. So there's really just good balance of everything. So for the mids though are presented on the warmer side, not the clarity, not that clinical sounding mids. It's not like that. It's on their warmer side. It's a little bit organic and very pleasing to listen to. For the mids, I'm giving it 2.5. Treble, again, it's very well extended because again, it's Harmon. Look at that, almost Harmon gain. Yeah, I think the treble is well done on this. I just think that it could benefit, like, if you reduce that bass a little bit. I mean, EQ can do that. You can definitely reduce that with EQ. I just thought that the treble could somehow feel more nuanced, and the treble can be a little bit sparklier if the bass was lesser. There's really no problem with the treble on this one here, like for the price, especially for the price. So for the treble, it's smooth, it's really non-fatiguing, so 2.5 on that. And finally, technicalities, man, like I thought this one here, with the amount of bass it has, and it's a very contrasted signature, I thought that, you know, like detail retrieval is just average, but no. The detail retrieval on this one is actually pretty good for its price range. Again, because I always listen to that Unwell track by Matchbox 20, and there's like their 3-count drumsticks around 35 seconds from the start of the track, and it was able to resolve those pretty fine. It is very immersive. The 3D staging on this one here is very, very good. Timbre is also natural for its price. So for the technicalities, I'm giving it a solid 3. Solid 3 for the technicalities. And so that is an overall score of 13. And 13 for me is A. It's A. You know, generally better than other sets. Very good for the price, but the tonality might not match your preferences. In this case, if you're looking for a neutral set, then probably this is not the one to get. But again, the Kefine Quatio is a very good sounding IEM, and it's just very, very easy to recommend. I mean, you have choices there. You have 3 nozzles to choose from. The cable is interchangeable, 4.4. So let's move on to the comparisons here. What I have is, of course, when I saw the graph, it immediately reminded me of the EM6L right there. So as you can see, the EM6L is probably more Harmon 19 compliant. It has more treble in there to compensate with the bass. I just feel like the EM6L is much smoother overall, and also the bass is a little bit lesser. The sub bass is a little bit lesser. So I feel like I'm leaning more towards the EM6L than the Quatio. I mean, like, it's really either or for both. I mean, if you want a warmer signature, then maybe the Quatio might be for you. And if you want a little bit resolving in the upper registers or in the treble, then maybe the EM6L. But it's really either or at this point. Or even if you prefer a brighter signature, I think the immersiveness of the Quatio is actually a good reason to get them. Next one would be, it's actually a cheaper one. It's the EW300. Wow, I always compare the EW300. It's probably because of its bass shelf, because look at that in there. It's like almost identical, and probably the only difference is in the gain in there. The EW300 follows my kind of like gain, and so it doesn't really have that peak in 6K or something. And so that makes vocals to be sounding more natural, and also the bass fuller and tighter. So I mean, the EW300 is cheaper as well, but I think what the Quatio edges it out is in its 3D and immersiveness, and it's just very more musical. If you want a punchier and slamier bass, maybe the EW300 is the one to get, and it's also cheaper. But you know, like if you want that musicality and immersiveness, maybe the Quatio. I mean, it's worth the asking price if you ask me. Next one would probably be, okay, you might be actually very surprised why I would compare this, but look at that. It's like, apart from that peak past 10K, they know that this formula works. They know that people love this kind of tuning. And so there's really no reason to depart from the original formula. Hello, Truth Ear. I mean, like, the Kefine Clean worked. It had two filters, the black and the silver one. And yeah, look at that. It's pretty much identical. And you know that peak in there, that's probably the biggest difference in there, because the Clean really has that extra, you know, like treble sparkle, and it's that 10K peak doing something in there. If you want an upgrade for the Clean, the Kefine Clean, that Quatio might be the one to get. Especially if you like bass, you want fuller bass, and you want engagement and musicality, and that 3D stage, you get the Quatio. Next one would be the Super Mix 4, because, you know, like a lot of people compare the Super Mix 4 because it's a very good hybrid, you know, like, and I think it is. It is a very good hybrid. However, I do think that the Quatio sounds more natural than the Super Mix 4. Although the Super Mix 4 can be very technical, but I just don't like its treble presentation. I feel like the Quatio nailed it on the treble presentation. It's non-fatiguing, everyone can listen to it, and it's just more musical than the Super Mix 4. That's just my opinion. Others might prefer the Super Mix 4, but at least the Super Mix 4 that I have, I probably prefer the Quatio on this one here. And the last one would probably be EM10, right? There. So the EM10, why the EM10 is here, it actually reminded me of the EM10 with its tonality. So the EM10 might look a lot when on the bass in there, but for me, probably the bass is about the same, and the EM10 is also a little bit maybe more resolving in the treble, and it does sound like that too. But why I'm comparing this is I think the Quatio can go toe-to-toe with the EM10. And you know, like EM10 is how much? EM10, it's like $400, right? $400, and it's like 3 times more expensive. I do think that the Quatio sounds more than its price. Really, I do think, like, I feel like it could have been priced $500. I mean, like, if they priced it $500, some people might actually still shill this one here. You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, Kefine stuck with the formula that worked, and it just worked. This one is just very, very musical. That's it. I mean, like, really, I can't shill this enough. Like, you watch other reviews, they like it. Do I put this in my rec list though? Maybe I can, maybe I'll replace something in there, but I mean, it didn't reach an S for me, maybe because of its tonality, and also in its price range, there's actually a lot of going on in there too. Like, you know, there's the Z-God, there's the Chopin, there's Dragonfly, there's a lot actually. And I like all of them here, and I mean, all of the IEMs in this price category, it's just for me personally, really. Like, these are just my personal choices. So I don't know, maybe comment down below if you think that I should put the Quatio in my rec list, in my top rec list here, or maybe I should extend my rec list. I don't know, but Kefine, you did a great job on this. Stick with your formula because it works. Kefine Quatio. That's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Yeah, see you in my next video. Bye for now. Quack.